A terrific dining experience is well-executed choreography from the front of the house to the back and everything in between. There are no small roles, and each deserves credit. Joining us with more on an initiative to give a little extra to the unseen heroes is Chef Jamie Lynch, chef partner for Fifth Street Group, and they are the founders of Church and Union that we love so well, Tempest, and many others. So great to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell us more about this initiative.
Okay, so Tip the Kitchen is an initiative that kind of was born from the pandemic. After we closed down our restaurants, that was one of the hardest things we ever had to do. And as we were me and the ownership group were kind of game planning how we were going to make a comeback, it kind of struck us that there was a huge disparity, and we've kind of known this forever, between the front and the back of the house.
Sure.
In restaurants. Servers make really good money for giving outstanding service, but a lot of the back of the house players, they don't make that kind of money, and it's hard for them to get by.
Certainly.
We decided early on, as we were starting to, navigate the reopening, that we were going to try to find a way to even the playing field and create livable wages for all of our staff. We felt that was the right thing to do and the future for the industry.
So who else is behind the scenes that we don't know about?
So obviously it's the line cooks and the prep cooks, right? The people actually preparing the food. But then there's dishwashers, there's porters, people that actually keep the restaurant clean and put up the orders when they come in that you never see. There's just so many people that are integral to the success of a service, of a restaurant. Sure. Dinner service or lunch service for that matter. That don't get the credit or the financial support that they need and deserve.
Absolutely. Now, you had once upon a time been in that role yourself, and look at where you are today.
100%. Yeah, I've done all of those roles. I've done every back of the house role that you can imagine. I started as a dishwasher when I was 16, and I was not making $15 an hour, which is our minimum wage.
Yeah.
And one of the most fantastic things about this initiative is that many of the supporting roles in our back of the house of our restaurants are making serious livable wages that are like really changing the game for them, that are making, just everyday life more, enjoyable, achievable. I have some line cooks that are making close to the salary that I made as my first executive chef position.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Things have changed.
It's bananas.
Things have changed.
Yes.
Well, so far you've raised $1 million. It's incredible.
Over $1 million.
Over $1 million. How did you do that?
Great question. I'm glad you asked. So my partner, Patrick Whalen, kind of was the brainchild for how we would piece together this initiative financially, the system to make it work. But how it works is this. We've added a tip line to the bottom of a guest check. And on our menu, we clearly ask the guests to only consider leaving a tip for the back of the house if their meal was truly outstanding. We don't want this to feel like an obligation. This is an earned tip. So if the food was amazing, it was hot, it was delicious, consider leaving a little something for the people that prepared it. We, the ownership, will then match all of those back of the house tips up to $500 per restaurant per day. Okay, and then all those tips are tallied at the end of the day and split amongst everybody working in the back of the house that day.
So they don't have to wait for their tip; they'll get it that day.
They'll get it in a check at the end of the week.
At the end of the week.
So we tally it for the week, and then we.
That's pretty immediate.
Yeah, and then we.
That's immediate gratification, which I think they all deserve. And
100%.
The dining experience has certainly got a little bit more expensive. Do you have anybody saying, well, hey, I'm already paying this much for a meal. This is really kind of stretching it for me. Or why don't you just raise the prices?
Yep. We get that a lot, actually, on social media quite a bit. People are saying, hey, just pay your people more. Well, the problem with that model, and a lot of restaurants are doing that, the reason it won't work for us is that we will have to pass along those, fees to the guest one way or another, whether it's through price changes or service charges or whatever. Our feeling is that by having this be, a choice-based system, and we're partnering with our guests, we're not relying on the guests to do this on their own. We're matching up to $500 a day, all those tips. So it's a kind of a shared responsibility to get these people to a wage that they deserve. That's why we think it works. Not everybody has to participate for it to work. I think right now we're at about 20% participation. You know what I'm saying?
Participation.
When we
Yes.
first started out, it was about 5%.
Yeah.
So it's growing. People are
growing.
starting to get behind it, starting to understand it.
Yeah, and people, everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to make a living wage. Chef Jamie Lynch, I want to thank you so very much. And who knows, maybe Tip the Kitchen is going to become a permanent part of our dining experience. It may even elevate the experience overall across all the restaurants. So I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. That's our hope.
Take care. We're back after this.